Welcome back to Turkish series stars, the place where we trace the quiet lines that pull people together and make headlines feel intimate. Today, I'm thrilled to dive into a story that so many of you have been whispering about, the inexplicable pull between Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel. What makes their connection feel so effortless, so resonant, as if a camera simply reveals what's already there? Is it pure coincidence, or something thoughtfully woven beneath the surface? Settle in, because we're peeling back the layers, from grounded psychology to the more mysterious, to understand why these two seem to move in perfect rhythm. Before we start, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss what we unearth next. Your support keeps this conversation alive, and we love having you with us. Let's begin with the most tangible pieces, the parts you can observe even from a short interview or a behind-the-scenes clip. Psychology gives us a very real foundation. Think of how we gravitate toward people whose worldview reflects our own. With Barış and Yağmur, fans have noticed a shared tempo in how they speak about their work and life. The humor lines up. The ambition lines up. The values, authenticity, hard work, loyalty, seem to click like two edges of the same key, unlocking a common space where both can breathe. When your motivations rhyme, everything from decision-making to conflict resolution becomes smoother. It's not magic, it's compatibility. This is where the puzzle image sharpens. Personality resonance often looks like parallel life maps, similar milestones, mirrored lessons, a matching appetite for growth. When that resonance is present, conversations don't drag, they flow. Ideas don't clash, they dovetail. In interviews, when Barış is careful and measured, Yağmur tends to add a warm spark that keeps the tone light but sincere. When she goes reflective, he meets her with a grounded clarity. That give and take is not only pleasing to watch, it's a signpost for deeper understanding. Then we have body language, a field that often says the loudest things without a single word. Watch how often their eyes settle on each other even when a question is directed elsewhere. Notice the gentle mirroring. The shift of shoulders, the angle of a smile, the timing of a laugh. Mirroring is rarely a conscious performance. It's rapport, an instinctive calibration that our bodies make when we trust another person. With Barış and Yağmur, the lean-in is strong. Their posture tends to open up, palms visible, shoulders relaxed, feet angled toward each other rather than away. Suited for close-ups or not, it signals comfort. Pay attention to their hands during press days. When one speaks, the other's hands often still, as if making space. When one gets animated, the other lifts the energy to match, like dancers taking turns leading and following. That's not a trick for the camera. That's a rhythm two people enter when they feel safe. It's why a quiet glance between them can communicate whole paragraphs. It's why a shared smile can soften a tense moment even before someone changes the subject. Next is conversational synchronicity. There are clips where a thought jumps the line. One starts a sentence and the other glides in to tie the bow, not interrupting, just finishing what was already in motion. That's not a party trick, it's what happens when two minds listen actively and anticipate kindly. It signals that they are tuned to each other's cadence, that they track not only the words but the intention underneath. With Barış and Yağmur, a short exchange can feel like a melody, setup, harmony, resolution. The momentum builds, and neither overpowers the other. They don't scramble for the spotlight, they share it. Now, beyond the visible, let's talk about energy. You know those pairs who make rooms feel warmer just by standing side by side? Many fans describe that sensation when Barış and Yağmur appear together. It's not something you measure on a device. It's a vibe your chest recognizes before your brain labels it. Some traditions call it resonance, others call it aura. Whatever the word, it's the sense that two currents meet and hum on the same frequency. He brings steadfast focus, she brings empathetic light. Together, they spark a current that seems to lift both of them higher. From there, consider creative synergy. When two artists with distinct strengths collaborate, you get more than addition, you get multiplication. Barış has the gravitas that draws audiences into quieter moments, anchoring the scene. Yağmur has this sparkle that catches the subtle tones and turns them into something unforgettable. Put them in the same frame and there's this effortless reciprocity. He steadies, she illuminates, and suddenly a simple exchange feels layered. That push and pull doesn't stay on set either. You can see how they challenge each other to experiment, try new angles, sharpen choices, take bold steps. It's the magic of a studio session that never truly ends. Of course, many of you love leaning into the mystical, and we won't leave you hanging. Soulmates, twin flames, karmic bonds, these words get thrown around easily, but sometimes there's a resonance that refuses to be ignored. In this lens, some encounters feel less like chance and more like a continuation. If you look at how their paths seem to thread together, shared acquaintances, overlapping opportunities, production schedules that align. You could imagine that the universe gave them a gentle nudge. Whether you see it as destiny or an elegant coincidence, the emotional truth remains. Their connection often reads as if it has history, even if that history unfolded in this lifetime, before our eyes. Another frame that helps: Jungian archetypes. We're all drawn to certain roles, both in ourselves and others. Think of how a grounded protector might meet an intuitive muse, or how a seeker pairs beautifully with a guide. With Barış and Yağmur, the roles don't lock, they rotate. Sometimes he becomes the steady lighthouse, other times she holds the compass. Sometimes she embodies the bold dreamer while he plays the wise realist. The interplay creates balance, a moving equilibrium that supports growth rather than stasis. When the archetypes complement rather than collide, they become a private language, a set of signals that say, I see you, and I'm here. Now to the heart of it, emotional intimacy. It's not just laughter in front of the cameras, it's the trust you build off-screen, during the heavy days, the uncertain nights, the complicated choices. Fans have noticed the small gestures that hint at a deeper backbone, how they make space for each other to speak, how they defend one another when rumors run loud, how they acknowledge nerves instead of hiding them. Vulnerability doesn't cheapen a bond, it strengthens it. You recognize it in the pauses, the softening voice, the way they let each other be fully human. And then, there's chemistry, the slippery word that explains everything and nothing. Sometimes you can map it out, complementary features, compatible temperaments, aligned timing. Often it's just there, like a spark that needs only the smallest breeze to become a steady flame. With Barış and Yağmur, you can see it ignite in the micro moments. A teasing eyebrow, a quiet nod, the way a joke lands perfectly because both already knew the punchline without saying it aloud. Chemistry is the glue you feel even when they're apart, the afterglow in a room once they've left. There's also a wider kind of synchronicity that fans love to point out, the way life seems to position them together at just the right moment. Festival schedules that line up. Interviews booked back to back. Projects that appear to call for both of their skill sets. Is it simply the industry's rhythm, or is it a series of meaningful coincidences stitching their narrative? Either way, it feeds the connection. When timing cooperates, bonds grow roots. It's as if the circumstances themselves are saying, stay close, there's more to do. Put all these tiles together and the mosaic becomes stunning. Psychological kinship lays the groundwork. Body language keeps the channel clear. Conversational rhythm turns talk into music. Shared energy lifts the whole. Creative synergy multiplies the art. Archetypal balance deepens the mirror. Emotional intimacy fortifies the core. Chemistry lights the scene. Synchronicity sets the stage again and again. None of these elements alone would be rare, together, they feel singular. That's why the connection between Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel captivates so many. It's the feeling that what we're watching isn't forced or manufactured, but discovered. And here's what matters most. Whether you describe it with scientific terms, poetic ones, or something in between, the story remains about two people who meet each other where it counts. They listen. They adjust. They create a space where each can be braver than they were yesterday. That's the secret ingredient audiences sense even when they can't name it. What do you think breathes life into their bond? Is it shared discipline, a spark of fate, or that gorgeous balance of both? Have you felt a connection like this in your own life, where the timing aligned, the energy felt right, and the conversation never needed to be forced? Tell us in the comments. Your stories often reveal details we miss. If this deep dive spoke to you, hit like, share it with a friend who loves a good behind-the-scenes heartbeat, and make sure you're subscribed to Turkish series stars with notifications on. We're just getting started, and there's so much more to uncover. Until our next exploration, take care of yourselves and each other, and keep listening for the quiet signs that say, this, right here, matters.